Right guys, like yesterday we have another quick news roundup focusing on today's news and anything I might have missed yesterday. First up, we should talk about Boris Johnson's press conference last night, setting the stage for stopping the unlock as we all predicted. As it stands, all we can hope for now is that the people will just stand up and say enough is enough. The YouTube videos talking about this from the mainstream media have been ratioed into the ground, and indeed many people will rightly question what they have been told if they go back on their promises now. Some obviously won't, but some certainly will, that is for sure. Next up though, we also have this online safety bill, which should really be called the Online Censorship Bill or Kim Jong-un Bill, because that's what it is. Essentially, the rulers of this policy will be Ofcom, the greatest defenders of free speech, who actually blocked me on Twitter for calling them out over the BGT race baiting bullshit last year. Of course, the government are marketing this as a way to protect kids, but in reality it's given the government and big tech all the power in the world to just shut you down. As with the ridiculous hate crime laws, the wording allows for almost anything to be considered a breach and will only end up allowing governments to censor anyone that criticises them, their policies, or just about anything. I mean, it's that broad. The government are saying even if something is not illegal but might offend someone, it has to be removed by YouTube, Facebook or Twitter legally. Essentially making everything up for removal because at the end of the day anything can offend the dirty little snowflakes who run around screaming and bitching that people have offended them. Now, as I said earlier, Ofcom will be the idiots enforcing this bullshit, which is obviously not good when it comes to censorship. Like I said, they actually blocked me on Twitter for calling them out a few months ago, meaning I am 100% fucked if this goes through. But on top of that, there is also scope for future governments to add more onto it, so it's not going to get better. In fact, it's just going to become more like North Korea possibly every day. Now next up, we have Migration Watch, who are also shitting all over the Tories' parade when it comes to immigration, and not just Boris and his incompetent Home Secretary Priti piss poor Patel. They are actually calling out the past 11 years of Tory governments for making our border a bucket without a bottom. Actually, a bucket without a bottom would probably do a better job. They do actually point out though how Theresa May actually made some effort to lower immigration while she was Home Secretary, but was blocked by other ministers in the government. Which obviously would actually hold some weight if while she was Prime Minister she actually tried to stop immigration. Of course she fucking didn't, so take what they said there with a pinch of salt. And in fact all of this is not overly surprising considering the Tories are as bad as Labour, like I've said. If one wanted to lower immigration even a little bit, the rest would scream that they're all racist. This is something you obviously know beyond all doubt. As I've said before, behind closed doors they are just like the Labour Party after all, a bunch of lefty tossers and nothing more. Only to the Tory voters in public do they stand strong on something you would actually agree with, let's be honest. But either way, more come in each year and nothing is ever done about it. You lot know this, I'm literally preaching to the choir. We talk about it all the time and the comment sections are absolutely full of it. But actually that story there leads on to another one that we have here. And that is reports that EU migrant numbers are well above the estimates given around the time of Brexit. In fact, reports claim there are nearly double, with 5 million applications for settled status coming from EU citizens. Now obviously this is something we knew was going to happen. The Brexit vote and policy afterwards allowed for EU citizens to stay here if they wished to. But the numbers have clearly been calculated by Diane Aberpotamus because them being off is a fucking understatement. In fact, it's almost as bad as the numbers given for illegal immigrants being here, because whatever number the government gives is about as accurate as Diane Aberpotamus telling you there is 72,000 illegal immigrants in the UK. Both will naturally be completely useless and obviously flat wrong. But I should point out it does shit on the Ramona narrative about the mass exodus from the UK, following Brexit. The reality shows people have faith in the UK outside of the EU, literally shitting all over the media spear porn pumped out for over 4 years straight. But moving on, we now have more government ministers being exposed for giving their mates bumper PPE contracts. You might remember Matt Hancock got called out for it a few months back. Well, this time it's pretty piss poor Patel. Obviously, when she's not picking up migrants in the channel, she's wanking away your tax money, propping up her mates with a nice £20 million PPE contract. This actually has me asking if every government minister has given their mate a £20 or £30 million contract. When all this started, because we have two at least so far. Now, even if this is all above board and all that, it certainly looks fishy as fuck and should not be allowed, let's be honest. Which maybe explains why the Tories are changing the law to make it easier for them to get away with doing this in the future. Like a tin pot African dictator, these cunts will then be able to milk the taxpayer dry while they sit pretty, laughing their bollocks off at us. Now next up, we have reports about the Green Lunatic Agenda and how it's going to cost us a fortune, something I have mentioned many times before. I mean, it's a money spinner when ITVs this morning are putting out the same photoshopped picture of the Himalayas while claiming they had been taken a year apart. The trouble obviously is they left in the details that prove they are the same picture, like clothes on the washing line and the two guys holding the same pose and position for a year. Literally showing to me they employed a 5-year-old to photoshop the picture or just don't care if they look stupid. They know the sheeple will buy into it anyway because they're not paying attention. Now, today's report itself is actually about the insane price rises that will stem from these policies, while also increasing the emissions they claim to be trying to lower. The article itself states that mining the crap they need for these electric cars and shit is an energy-intensive exercise, which actually emits pollution beyond even what goes on now, and the green eco-lunatics have admitted this. Proving, as I've said, it's literally just batshit crazy at the end of the day, and once again, not something the people voted for, but the Tories are gonna push it anyway. Now finally, we have this story here that's coming from The Sun. It's another two scumbags raping young girls and women, but this time the sick fuck did it knowing he was infected with HIV. And to top it off, he actually went and filmed it, the stupid cunt. Which actually maybe we should be thankful for, because it helped send him down for 27 years. The police literally discovered the video on his phone, and that bit of evidence there is clearly beyond debate. Now, there are reports he joked about it afterwards with his friend on the video, who also got sent down, though only for 10 years. But the main dirty aid-infested fuck pig got 27 years, meaning he could see the light of his life smothered in shite before he sees freedom again. But this pair of dirty fuck pigs' names are Dixon Nagande and Amos Ocheng from the Preston area, which is where they found their victims preying on care homes like the grooming gangs do. Because as if the mostly peaceful but often rapey Pakistani grooming gangs wasn't enough for these kids to deal with up there, they also have these animals to deal with, or at least they did. I will say though, well done to the girls involved for coming forward and getting these fucking animals off the street. It's a shame our legal system won't go medieval on them if you ask me. A punishment more fitting of the crimes could be imagined, I am sure. But on that note guys, I will end the video there. Thanks to all who made it this far, and remember, links are down below for my other social media channels, so check them out if you're not following me on them already.